Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and today I'm super excited about this video right here because basically it reminds me of the first book I ever read when it came to investing, which is basically The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, the grandfather of investing, the guy that we owe almost everything to when it comes to value investing. Now, the idea is that in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to go ahead and short a stock, how it works, if it's good or if it's bad. Now, overall, my goal is always to say, hey, although this is bad, I want you to know why it's bad. Not just because, hey, I said it's bad. No, I want you to know exactly why it's bad to actually go ahead and try to short a stock and all the cons to actually trying to do this. This way, you know the reason, and not just me saying, hey, it's bad, don't do it, okay? Why do you care what I think, okay? Today I'm going to tell you exactly all the evidence and all the facts. Now, if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day, so you should also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified, and I also destroy the like button. Now, disclaimer here, guys, okay? For the past 18 to 24 months or so, what I've been doing is investing into index funds and so on. Now, my index fund portfolio has around a 30% gain. And on top of that, whenever I find attractive stocks, I buy them. And right now, the stock I actually picked back in March is actually up by around 80%. Now, the idea is that that's usually what I do. I don't go ahead and short stocks because usually that's a terrible idea, and I'll tell you why. Now, the first thing is, let's establish exactly what shorting a stock actually is and how everything actually works. And yes, it's true, guys, okay? Anyone out there can go out there and short a stock because why not? The broker wants to make money from you, so why would they tell you, hey, no, don't short stocks, or tell you, wait, here's the risk, so don't do it, be very careful with this stuff, right? In reality, they just want to go ahead and make money usually. Now, how shorting the stock market works is the broker lends you share of a company. Now, you grab those shares and immediately grab them and sell them. Now, you hope those shares drop in value, so then you can go ahead and buy them for a cheaper price, replace them back to the broker, and you get to keep the profit for the price you sold them at, but you actually bought them back at a lesser price, so that means you have a profit right there. Now, for all my visual learners out there, let's say, for example, I went to my broker and I said, hey, I want to go ahead and short Samsung. And the idea is I want to go ahead and get 100 shares of Samsung, and right now it's going for $100 per share. They say yes. They go ahead and lend me the shares. I sell them immediately. 100 shares at $100, that equals a whopping $10,000. Now, it turns out that, guess what? Samsung has a problem. They released a phone and it's catching fire in airplanes. No one likes that. So now the share price drops by around 50%. $50 per share. I go ahead and I buy those shares for $50 per share and I replace them back to the broker, and now I have a whopping $5,000 in profit because basically I sold them at 100 and then I replaced them again at $50, and I get to keep that splash right there of around $5,000. And that's basically how shorting shares works for all of my visual learners out there. Now, you might say, Tommy, this sounds fun. It sounds so interesting. It sounds awesome. But in reality, I told you around two things that are very hard or almost impossible to do. And that's basically to predict the future with certain accuracy every single time. Knowing for a fact that Samsung is going to release a phone that burns in planes, the answer is you don't know that. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. And on top of that, to see a stock it's actually pretty good. Go from $100 per share all the way down to 50 that fast is also very unlikely. And by the way, what they don't tell you is this, which is basically, hey, what happens if the opposite happens? What happens if I bought them for $100 and now they go up to 150? Well, in reality, that spread, you have to go and cover it with your money. And if you want to sit and wait, in reality, the stock can go up higher and higher and higher and higher to a point where you don't even know how high it's going to go. It's stock can go on forever, okay? In reality, Warren Buffett's stock is going for around, I think, $300,000 to $400,000 per share. So that's how high a stock can potentially go without any stock split. So you never know what's actually going to happen with a stock. But you do know for a fact a stock can go all the way to zero, and that's about it. But it can go high and high and high to a point where you're going to lose all of your money. Now, Guess who doesn't lose whether you make money or lose money? The answer is the broker does not lose, because basically they charge you interest. They also call the margin. That way they don't lose money. And on top of that, they also make money with all the trades and so on. So the broker is never ever losing whether you win money or basically whether you lose your money. So they have nothing to lose. So why would they tell you, hey, don't do it? And by the way, if you guys haven't noticed here, if a stock might go down by 5% or 3%, yeah, you'll make money. But to make any decent amount of money, you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in there, or for example, millions of dollars, for example, in a hedge fund, or for example, in a mutual fund, whatever you're actually doing, okay? But you need to have a ton of money to make this game actually worth it. But even then, the game is very, very risky, and obviously, I don't recommend it. It's like me saying, hey, Tommy, can I borrow your lawnmower? You say, yeah. I go ahead, grab it, and I sell it, and I hope to God the price drops. That way I can replace it back to you for a decent price, okay? It's crazy. You don't know what's going to happen in the stock market, and that's why usually I don't recommend trying to short the market, because you don't know what's going to happen. And by the way, I saw the housing crash like on moving. It was great. It was awesome. And there were obvious clues to see exactly what was going to happen. And those people had a ton of money actually in that game. And that's how they made all that money. But the average person trying to short in the market with limited information is not going to get far, and is usually just going to lose a ton of money. And in reality, just give the broker all of their money. Now we know exactly what shorting a stock actually is and how it works. Let's talk about exactly what your job, your real job as an investor, is supposed to be, according to this book right here, Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, and also by Warren Buffett. And by the way, as an investor, you only have 3 jobs, okay? You only have 3 things to think about. And the first thing is basically, whenever buying a stock, you want to analyze it, okay? Analyze not the stock and the price and the chart and all that stuff. No, analyze the business itself. Does it have debt? How much? Its current assets, basically its revenue. How much money does it make? Does it acquire any companies? Is it good at doing that? In reality, you want to analyze the business, not the market price. That's a whole different game of speculation that I'm not into. The second rule is basically, you want to make sure you don't lose a ton of money. The game of investing is all about compound interest, meaning, for example, as long as you don't have a ton of losses, large losses, you're going to be just fine. That's how Warren Buffett became a billionaire, by not losing a ton of money, by making super crazy mistakes. And also, the way you protect yourself from losing a ton of money is by buying stocks with a margin of safety, meaning if the share is only worth $100 per share, you buy it at 80 or 90. That way, you have a spread to cover yourself just in case things go absolutely wrong, and if you were actually super wrong, okay? That's the whole idea. And last thing, you want to go for good results, not extreme results with basically very high risky tendencies. For example, I'd rather go slow and steady than go super fast, and before you know it, I crashed. Now, obviously, guys, doing this correctly is going to take months of research to actually go out there, analyze the business, make sure everything is fine, and go out there and find companies that are actually going ahead and selling for a discount, although they're actually great companies, okay? That take months to do. Now, however, obviously, it's hard to do this when you see everyone else making a ton of money. Now, I love this example right here, okay? Let's say, for example, I was driving a car and I wanted to go, for example, to Philadelphia, right? That's where Nate O'Brien lives, and I want to go visit Nate. Now, the idea is that if I go to the speed limit, I'll get there in 1 hour and 43 minutes. However, if I go at 100 miles per hour, I'll get there in 56 minutes, meaning I get to save a ton of time. Which way is better? The answer is, you might say, Tommy, I want to get there super fast, but in reality, you're risking so much by going super fast and not taking your time, meaning you might get there the first time, even the second time, or the third time, but the minute you don't get there, you might go ahead and lose your life, okay? Things might go super wrong. And that's why you don't want to have, hey, a speedy mentality when it comes to investing. You want to go ahead and take your time. Let compound interest do its job, analyze numbers correctly, and on top of that, buy with a margin of safety. That way, you don't carry that much risk. So you buy a company to hold on for a long time. You're not going out there trying to short in the market, predict the future, predict this. It's not about time in the market. It's about time in the market. That's the core idea of the foundation of this book right here, and also the way I invest. Now, before I end this video, guys, I do want to go ahead and warn you. Wall Street is a casino. Brokers are just businesses trying to make money from transactions. On top of that, data, forums, all this stuff does not equal knowledge. Going out there and looking at charts every single day is not equal to knowledge. That's just data, and data is not always knowledge. So keep that in mind. So for example, when you go to Wall Street makes money from you going ahead and trading. The trades is where they make money. Meaning, for example, guess what? They make money whether you make money or you lose money. They don't care. As long as you have trading, people borrowing money, margins, all this stuff, in reality, they're going to make money either way. And the odds are always in their favor. Why, Tommy? Because basically, probabilities say so. It's hard for a human to predict the future over and over and over again. And the minute you don't, you might go ahead and lose all your money. Just like the minute you don't get there going 100 miles per hour, it might cause death, okay? You might not get there whatsoever, and you don't want to risk that at all. Now, also, brokers only care about transactions. And again, brokers are just businesses. In reality, they don't care about what's right for you per se. They care about what's going on with the times. When the stock market was all about trading, and that was the fad and the trend, they advertised that. When it became more about long-term investing, they advertised that. They only really care about, hey, what's the trend? Let's follow that. It's all about being vanilla according to what the customers want and what the nature of the business actually is at the time. So for example, here's a company you guys probably know, Ameritrade, and also Fidelity, by the way. They do this a lot during the 1990s because basically back then it was all about day trading. So here's this video or commercial I want you guys to watch with me right now, okay? Here it is right here, guys, okay?
Stuart, can I see you in my office, please?
That kid is sick. That hinge is squeaky. He's very sick.
Stuart, get in here.
Sure thing, Mr. P.
Stuart, I just opened my Ameritrade account.
Now, by the way, guys, during the 1990s, what these brokers basically did was gamify investing. Meaning, for example, they try to make it seem like anyone can just go out there and invest. Doesn't matter what they buy. It's all about looking at this chart and this decimal and boom, go ahead and buy. That's what they try to do with all these commercials.
Let's light this candle.
Let's go to Ameritrade.com. It's easier than falling in love. What do you feel like buying today, Mr. P?
Kmart.
So research.
What do you feel like buying today? As if investing's actually just a feeling. It's not.
It. All this stuff is provided for you free of charge.
No cost.
Yeah, that's synonymous with free.
Looks like
All this stuff is provided free of charge. Go research the stock, right? And in reality, it's just his charts showing you the price of the stock. And on top of that, it's taking him seconds just to go ahead and research the company. While Warren Buffett might take months or sometimes years to go ahead and research a company.
a good stock.
Let's buy.
Let's buy 100 shares.
All right, click it in there.
Okay.
How about 500?
100, Stuart.
And then boom, the guy goes ahead and buys 100 shares of Kmart, which by the way did terrible. But the answer is that's what they try to do. When it comes to, hey, what's good for the customer, they don't care. It's mostly about, hey, what's the trend today? And how can we go ahead and make money from it? At the end of the day, it's a business, okay? And that's why I have no loyalty to any broker out there. I just care about where is my money safest and which has the good tools that I actually need. And that's about it. And lastly, data and charts does not equal research or knowledge. Knowledge is knowing exactly what to do during the right time based on facts. Foundational facts can easily be proven over and over and over consistently. Trading stocks based on price cannot be proven consistently. That's why it's so risky. But guys, overall, that is all I have to give you guys today for this video. And by the way, I highly recommend you go ahead and read this book. By the way, obviously, I'm rereading this book right now because I like this book a lot and I'm going to reread it again and again and again and again and again, okay? And by the way, guys, comment down below and let me know what broker do you use and why do you like them? Is it because of commercial? Why is it? Comment down below, let me know. Or how did they get your attention? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. As always, like this video if you liked it. On top of that, also, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. And if you guys want to text me or talk to me one-on-one, join my Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at TommyBryson. And before I go, if you want to watch a full video on basically how I invest my money, here's that video right here. And good my video now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace.